Whoa. And we're back.
Round 2.
Episode 2. Whoa. Who invited us back?
Got some beers. Let's do this. So,
Yep.
Where do we start, my guy?
Well. Where do we start? A lot has happened in just under 2 weeks.
Yeah.
13 days.
Yeah.
We've seen what was the number one team in the world lose to the host nation.
Japan.
So that was pretty huge.
Come on.
But yeah, where do you want to kick us off? Oh, yeah. Got the Aussie repping it this time around.
I think we should maybe start off with talking about the pools, and then we can get into the controversial things.
Alrighty.
Upsets.
So,
Pool A.
Pool A. As we were just saying, Japan, who were number 9, I believe.
In the world, yeah. But
Yeah.
pre-World Cup, I think they were.
10.
Yeah.
Because Fiji was 9.
Yeah.
Yes.
Argentina are 11th now. So they dropped in.
World rankings is going to just be doing all sorts of things
Yeah.
in the World Cup. But yeah, so Japan was 10th before the World Cup. And going into the World Cup, Ireland was number 1 for about a week before the World Cup. So Japan beat the world number 1, essentially.
Yeah. Beat Russia with the bonus point, which it's a pretty good game going in the first half. But then Japan just pulled away.
Russia drew the first blood.
Matsushima getting a hat-trick in the opening game, which is pretty sick. But yeah, pulling away with that bonus point and then beating Ireland, not with the bonus point, but Ireland didn't get a bonus. Oh, no, they did get a bonus point and they lost. So
Actually, just on that, so Ireland was losing by 7, right?
yeah.
They had the ball as the siren sounded. Why didn't they go try and draw the game? Ireland kicked the ball out, and they were just like, oh, we'll take the bonus point.
Yeah, I thought
They
that
were
was...
defeated. They didn't even try and go for the draw.
I thought that was a bit odd, but I was talking to my dad, and he said maybe they kicked it out because they're on their line, and they just were happy to get the bonus point, you know? Maybe.
That's a lot of respect to the Japanese team for Ireland to be like, yeah, we can't really draw this.
Yeah.
We're going to cop it.
I mean, if they did come back, it would have been massive. But
I'm happy that Japan won.
maybe. Oh, yeah.
I think the whole world was
Super
behind
happy Japan on. I mean, I've had one of my Irish friends. I won't say his name. He might get a bit upsetty. Andrew McDonald. And he was just throwing excuses with why Japan won, as saying something like Ireland subbed 5 of their players, which, yeah, is a big deal, but
Respect your
Japan
opposition
still won.
and play your best team.
And at the end of the day, Ireland's replacements that will be coming on will still be world-class players. They won't be bad.
Johnny Sexton came off the bench, and Ireland did play a lot better once he came on. He seems to...
He's a general.
Yeah, he is the general of the Irish backline and probably the whole team, to be honest. When he's on the team, they play better. But yeah.
Japan's defense is high risk, but it paid off. And then the interception at the end,
High risk, high
was
reward.
very good.
Yeah, Shota Horie, number 2.
Yeah, that guy's a
for
beast.
Japan. He used to play for the Rebels, I'm pretty sure. Because he used to play in the Super Rugby, and I remember thinking he was alright, but he is now like a world-class hooker.
He's very good.
Holy hell, when did this happen?
His hair makes him look good as well. Also going in, Scotland, losing to Ireland convincingly. They didn't score any points that game, or they did score 3 points.
23 or 32-0 or something.
Yeah. So they only got their first try against Samoa. Well, they scored quite a few tries against Samoa, to be honest. But Scotland, we were just talking earlier, with Japan, Ireland, Scotland, it's going to be a bit hard to see who's going to be coming second in that pool, because it really comes down to Japan versus Scotland. And we said that in the first video, that game's going to be extremely exciting. And now it's just got a whole lot more exciting with Japan beating Ireland.
Yeah.
And so ultimately it could be a fight for the first place position, which I hope happens, because if South Africa comes second in their pool, which should happen, that means in the quarterfinal will be South Africa versus Japan, which would be a bit of a showdown.
That would be huge.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, throwback to 4 years ago, bro.
So that would be
Hopefully
good.
we get history repeat itself.
Yeah. Oh,
Japan trounces over the Springboks. That would be
Probably
delicious.
massive.
Could you imagine Japan semi-finalists?
Yeah, that's a World Cup win in their books, to be honest.
Yeah, but to be fair, if they make the semis, that is huge. Like, even just making the quarters is
Making
huge.
the quarters is massive, yeah.
But, yeah, that's crazy. I still wouldn't count Samoa out of making the top 2. There's genuinely 4 teams that could make the top 2. But Samoa needs to win all their remaining games.
Possibly with bonus point.
Yeah, Ireland has played their 2 hardest games already, so they've basically got 2 wins locked in against Samoa and Russia. Yeah, it will just come down to Japan versus Scotland at the end there.
Yeah.
To see who gets 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Ireland will get the other one.
But yeah, if Japan beats Samoa, they'll make that Scottish game easier for them. I don't know what the points will be. But just looking at it now, Japan actually don't even have any losses, obviously, because they've only played 2. And those 3 in the middle, Ireland, Scotland, Samoa, are all on 1 win, 1 loss.
It could come down to bonus points as well.
Yeah. So our predictions now
have changed.
Yeah, well,
none of us thought that Japan would beat Ireland.
Well, they changed in that sense, yeah. But in our other video, we still said we reckon Japan can make the quarters.
Yeah.
And that's looking a whole lot better now. So...
Yeah, we picked it.
Bang.
Easy.
And we still think Japan vs Scotland's going to be a massive game. I think maybe right now the only thing that's changed in our predictions is whether Japan tops Pool A if they beat Samoa and Scotland, or if Ireland tops Pool A. So that's about it for Pool A.
Well, I think New Zealand and South Africa will have been licking their lips watching that game, though.
Yeah.
Because Ireland had nothing.
Yeah.
They couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I think whoever is playing Ireland in that first quarter is basically just going to copy Japan's playbook.
Yeah, well,
that's how you do it.
Off camera, I told Xavier the Japanese defense also a bit high risk sometimes, but they managed to hold Ireland down. And South Africa's defense is similar in a way. They play a high risk, fast pace, like rushing up, shutting down space. Because ultimately, 2017, the Lions, when they went to New Zealand, they did that, and that really rocked New Zealand. And I think a lot of the Tier 1 nations have cracked onto that. But still, Pool B, whoever comes second, depends. It could ultimately be New Zealand versus Ireland in the quarterfinal.
It's not what New Zealand wants, because Ireland is New Zealand's Achilles heel. New Zealand, I think they've lost to, they've lost 6 or 7 games in the last 4 years. 3 of them were Ireland.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, well, they beat them in Auckland, Chicago, and in Dublin.
Yeah.
So that's the majority of their losses have come from that one Irish team, and then I think it was 2 from the Springboks and 1 from the Wallabies.
And to be honest, I think the Springboks, if they had to verse Japan in the quarterfinal, they'll also be semi-shook. I mean, they'll believe in themselves, but there'll be a little part there like, oh, damn let's not stuff
Japan,
it up now.
Achilles heel,
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I think South Africa will be fine, but yeah, that would be funny.
We also wanted to mention that one of the predictions that we had wrong was Italy's performance. And I know New Zealand, they haven't played South Africa and New Zealand yet, but right now the ladder is literally
Italy's on
Italy
top.
well ahead. So shout out to Italy for really putting on a showcase against Canada and Namibia. But now you have to verse the top 2.
Yeah, so I think New Zealand in about an hour's time is probably going to put 50 or 60 points on Canada. So we'll see how the Canadians can pull up after that one.
Yeah. But Pool B, I think we're still holding firm. New Zealand to win it, and South Africa to come second.
Italy to come third, which is what we said.
Did we say that?
Yeah.
I thought we said Canada would be third.
Nah, you said Canada. I definitely said Italy.
Okay. Well, I was wrong.
Well, you never know. Canada could come and do something. We'll see what happens. Maybe Canada beats New Zealand.
No.
A boy can dream.
Italy beats South Africa.
That's never going to happen.
Pool C is pretty held down.
Pool B.
Really. Pool B, sorry. Pool C is upcoming one. So what we said before in the first video, Argentina versus France was going to be a super close game, and it was. The score was 24-21 to France.
Something like that.
France, I didn't watch the game, but Argentina, the guy missed a penalty kick. That could have...
Nicolas Sanchez missed everything. He's usually a world-class number 10.
Yeah.
And he was missing from everywhere.
Yeah.
And the French team played really well in the first half, and then they went to sleep. And the Argentines came back, but... Argentinians?
I don't know.
Argentinians.
Whatever.
They really should have stolen that game, but... their kicking and converting just really didn't prove them to be the winners on the day. So Argentina's looking in trouble because France got that big game.
England still holding strong. They haven't played France or Argentina yet, but previous predictions we said England should be playing well. I mean, I think against Tonga they benched something ridiculous like 12 of their normal starting players. And they still put big points on Tonga. So holding that, I still think England should beat France and Argentina. And if that's the case, France should go through.
Well, I'm backing Eddie Jones, I think. But having said that, Argentina is a very passionate nation, and now it's do or die. So they're going to go into that England game being like, we have to win or we're going home.
Yeah, and their captain said in an interview it's going to be a war.
I'm very keen to watch that game.
Augustine Creevy, that'll be a good game. Argentina versus England is this Saturday. So
is it this Saturday?
This Saturday.
We'll pull up for that one.
Yeah, be a good game. USA.
They're playing France right now.
They are. I don't know what the score is. I'll check. But Tonga, I think we said that they were going to go... Oh, France are pumping.
Well, France has pulled through.
France probably going to get the bonus point win, which is it's going to make it much harder
above
for
Argentina. Yeah.
Tonga, I think they've lost both of their games, which is a bit sad. Tonga USA will ultimately be the fight for fourth position, and to be honest, I have no idea.
For fourth?
Yeah.
I'm backing USA on this one.
Shout out Marcel Bracchi.
Marcel Bracchi, the fourth superstar.
Playing for USA, so that's good. But Pool C, that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, really just Argentina has to win now, otherwise they're going home because France beat them.
On your bike. Pool D. Here's Pool.
Yes. Oof. Jeez, this is a hard pill to swallow, but Australia lost to Wales on Sunday, whilst I was deep in the mosh pit of Denzel Curry and Flume. I went home and watched the replay, and started crying.
I sent him the score because I got a little bit of internet, and then one of my Welsh friends showed me. I was like, ooh.
It was always going to be a very, very close game. But yeah, Wales were better than us on the day. And I don't think Checker or Michael Hooper, Checker more so, I don't think Checker's handling it very well at all. I think he should have just swallowed it, being like, all right, we lost, fair enough, well done to Wales. But instead he's kind of going on we hate the refs against us kind of thing, which I think is a bad kind of way to be talking about it. And it's not good culture for the boys in the camp. So I'm a bit worried about the Wallabies now. See where they go, but they're still going to qualify for the finals. So
yeah. Also speaking in Pool D, I mean mainly I, and we both agreed on it. In the first video, we said Fiji are going to be dangerous, and they were very dangerous against Australia.
But only against Australia.
Only against Australia in the first half, and then they lost gas. And then Australia did have a massive comeback. That's the biggest comeback in World Cup history, from being on that much of a loss and then going up to that much of a win. It was 27 points or something. So it was a big, big win. And then Fiji losing to Uruguay. But at the same time, I'm really happy for Uruguay because that's their first win in a World Cup in 4 World Cups. So they are 1 from 18 now, I think, because they lost their most recent game against Georgia.
Yeah.
So I'm still happy for Uruguay.
That's a huge win for Uruguay to take down a semi kind of tier 1, tier 2 nation. They're on the border.
Yeah.
For Uruguay to come and pump them,
Yeah.
well, not pump them, but get the job done was insane.
Very passionate win. It was good. Previously, though, off camera, we both mentioned that there's still hope that Fiji would maybe beat Wales.
Oh, I hope they beat Wales.
Yeah.
Australia can still top this pool. It still can happen because Fiji are going to be hurting after that loss to Uruguay, and I think they're going to surprise Georgia, and maybe surprise Wales.
Maybe it'll be. I don't know.
Well, before Fiji played Uruguay, like just after Australia played Fiji, I was thinking Fiji are looking good. They were doing naughty things to the Australian team. They're going to go and surprise Wales. And then 3 or 4 days later, I flip on the TV and I'm watching Fiji play like absolute garbage and I don't know what I'm seeing. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think between Fiji, mainly Fiji, Uruguay, and Georgia, it's going to be a fight for that third place.
Big time.
Fiji can't make the...
they can't qualify now.
They can't qualify now, so, they're on 2 points.
They'll be going into that Wales game trying to take third, though.
Unless they beat Wales with a bonus point, and Wales don't get a bonus point loss, and they beat Georgia with the bonus point, they'll go up to 10 points. And if Wales lose to Uruguay, which won't happen.
It just won't happen.
They're going to go up. So, Fiji are definitely not going to qualify.
Wales are looking good.
Wales are looking good. Australia-Wales, the winner will play second of Pool C, which is semi-unknown still. I think England should hold strong. So, really,
probably
second
France.
place, which looks like Australia, but could be Wales, depending how things go. We'll be playing England. That's our revised predictions.
Australia, England, quarterfinal. I don't like the look of that at all.
No, me neither.
Here I've been saying like England is one of the top contenders for this World Cup.
And then they go up against Australia.
I didn't want to play them in the quarterfinals.
And another thing, Australia in both of their games have been weak in that first half. Fiji, they were weak in the first half. Wales, they were weak in the second half.
Yeah.
In the first half. So,
I think the rhetoric from Czech is all wrong. Like I listened to the press conference after we lost to Wales, and one of the reporters asked the question, you've been weak in the first half, both against Fiji and Wales. Do you think you're leaving it a bit too late to put your foot on the gas? And his response was pretty lackluster and didn't really admit to any wrongdoing or credit to the opposition. So, yeah, I think England will be a tough opposition to come up against in the top 8.
yeah.
So we'll see how we go. But having said that, let's hope Argentina beats England, and then all of a sudden, who knows, we might be playing France or Argentina.
Yeah, could be big.
Cheers.
So that's that for the pools. Did you want to touch on some of the controversial calls?
Yeah, okay. So
potentially,
I made a couple of notes. I basically said, Checker sucks, referees suck, Ireland suck, Japan sick, Fiji suck, and Uruguay whack. So, yeah.
Lost to Georgia. Yeah, the refs, I've never really liked blaming the refs, but I was reading an Instagram post from Tano Umaga, and it was a news report that he had reposted saying that Pacific Island nations are sort of, I forgot how it was put, pretty much get targeted for unfair calls or something. And then he was just like, I agree with this. And looking back on it, I'm like, oh, it does actually make sense.
Like tackle technique and stuff?
No, just even like the Samu Karevi thing, going in for sort of the bounce, and then it's just looking like maybe the arm was out aiming for his neck, but you can't blame him. The tackle technique wasn't good.
No.
He was coming upright with his head open and neck. So, I mean...
It was a Reece Hodge tackle. It was the exact same, I thought.
And apparently 5 minutes earlier, that guy who got Reece Patchell, who got bounced by Samu Karevi, did the exact same thing to Bernard Foley. Because Bernard Foley went in with a really bad technique, and Reece Patchell was just putting on the bump, and it was the exact same arm to like neck contact.
There should be nothing wrong with the ball carrier going in with the bump. I mean, half the enigma and kind of spectacle of the bump is just absolutely mincing this guy that's trying to tackle you.
Mm.
And Simon Karevi's a beast at it. I don't think we should be trying to stop players from going in hard to contests.
Mm. Yeah.
It kind of sucks that the refs are kind of dishing out yellow cards and red cards.
Yeah, left, right, and centre. Well, we just mentioned that earlier. In the Samoan game, there was 3. In the USA-France game, there's been a red card to USA. Obviously, was there yellow in Australia-Wales?
There was I can't remember, but the Reece Hodge incident against Fiji
that
was no yellow or red. The TMO didn't see any foul play. And then when it went to the cited review panel, they gave it a penalty of a red card equivalent, which was then ruled to be 3 weeks, which I thought was ridiculous. I didn't even think it was worthy of the yellow. But, well, I'm clearly biased, so I don't really want to put my 2 cents on that one, but
yeah,
it's just tough.
It's hard. In my opinion, that Reece Hodge one, he definitely ran in with his arms down, but like he did get bounced pretty much in the neck. But the main reason to that ban is because the Fijian flanker got knocked out.
Yeah, he's their captain as well.
So I think it's just like a rule of thumb. Like you do something like anything you do where someone could get hurt, even like going for contest in the air. There's been so many cases where 2 people jump up for the ball in the air. One guy would get knocked and then land on his neck or something. And the other guy was going for the ball, but because he hit his body first before the other guy was near the ball, or the guy jumping wasn't even really going for the ball on him, and the other guy gets injured, that usually always turns into a penalty and at least a yellow or something. So I think that's just... I agree with that safety aspect, but I think it's also because it's a Rugby World Cup where every game's important, you know? And it's a bit unlucky.
Yeah, I just hope that one of the finals games doesn't really come down to one of those big decisions.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of did happen last World Cup when Craig Joubert said the playing the ball from an offside position.
Alright, so do you mind moving your car, please?
Yep, no worries.
I'll just edit that out. Okay, we're back. The car had to get moved.
had to move the car, but we're back. All right, where were we?
Chabert, or the ref, and the...
Joubert.
Is that the Australia-Scotland game?
Australia-Scotland, yeah. The Scottish is still talking about it 4 years later. I don't really blame them, because it was a bit of a who really knows call. But I would hate for one of those really important finals games to come down to a big call like that, being, was it a shoulder to the head, was it a shoulder to the chest, or something like that, where it's a bit of a 50-50, nobody really knows the ruling. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, they gave Scott Barrett a red, and then, they're going to have to be consistent, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So we got the tournament bracket, a revised edition. Pool A, I'm going to back Japan to top it.
You got it. Yeah.
I think they will beat Scotland. Points-wise, I think they'll win, and I'm going to back Ireland in to come second.
I agree.
So that was pretty easy. New Zealand, South Africa.
Easy again.
Yeah, that's very
easy.
easy.
South Africa in that order.
Italy.
Italy could come through.
So
England again.
England to top it.
Yeah, I really want to say Argentina still, but that means that they have to beat England, which is a huge ask. So it would probably be wise to tip France to come second in that pool, but I'm torn.
Yeah, I want Argentina though. I just really want Argies to go through.
Yeah.
But France, they beat USA 33-9.
Yeah.
So I know back in France.
I hope. Yeah, I hope it is. So if France finishes second, and Fiji beats Wales, and Australia finishes top, then Australia is going to absolutely pump France.
You reckon?
I reckon.
I
I reckon
see that.
France won't see it coming. Australia will pump them. But having
Against
said
England?
that, against England, it's a very different story.
So Pool D. This is where the bias comes in.
Yeah, no, you got to tip Wales. I mean, we lost to them. So Wales is number 1. Australia 2.
Uruguay?
Uruguay's still in it. Anyone's still in it, really.
So that's that. So that first
here it is.
quarterfinal was England versus Australia. I'll let Xavier talk first because I already have my mind.
England, Australia.
England.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, England.
But World Cup, things could change.
Nah, it's got to be England, really. I can't see the Aussies. I mean, I want them to, but the last couple of days hasn't really given me a hell of a lot of confidence. So,
England?
we're going to have to. We're going to have to. And I'll spend the next 4 years waiting for 2023, I think.
We'll be there, by the way, mate.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Everyone get on the bandwagon. Let's go to France.
Quarterfinal 2, I reckon that you could say that's the biggest quarterfinal. New Zealand versus Ireland.
It's going to be a big one.
Besides Japan versus South Africa. But
It's going to be huge.
Quarterfinal 2, New Zealand versus Ireland. Should we say it on 3? Who do you think will win?
Sure.
3, 2, 1.
New Zealand
Yeah.
by 35 points because Ireland sucks.
I think New Zealand will win it. I think, starting off bad, finishing bad, they're still a strong team. And Ireland have shown that they, against Japan, you shouldn't underestimate Japan, but Ireland have showed that they can struggle. And I think that's one of the best things New Zealand can capitalise on, is the struggles of another team. And just, they play so smart. And yeah, I just think New Zealand will beat Ireland. But as Xavier said before, it is their Achilles heel. And I don't know.
New Zealand always gets nervous around World Cup time. And they won't like the idea of playing Ireland. But I just think they're too good. They're too good. New Zealand will win that. Surely.
Yeah. So back New Zealand.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Wales versus France. Wales.
Would probably have to go Wales.
Yeah, they've been clinical. They've been well structured.
I think France would lose to all of the other 7 teams in the top 8. France would be I reckon France would be the worst in the top 8.
Yeah.
So Wales will win that.
So that was an easy one. This one, South Africa versus Japan. Something's going on with that camera. Look.
Oof.
Japan and South Africa played, I think, 2 weeks before the World Cup started. And South Africa beat them by 40 plus points. But Japan still scored 20-something points, I think, from memory, around that mark. And South Africa are a good team. And their New Zealand game, they were losing by a decent amount. And then they sort of came back and it got really exciting. And New Zealand just played clinical and went ahead comfortably, 10 points. But you should, again, never underestimate the Japanese. And both teams play a high-risk defense. So, it's, in my opinion, it'll really come down to the team that can sort of counter-attack better and maybe play smarter. And in my opinion, that's still South Africa.
Yeah, I think it's a similar situation to New Zealand versus Ireland in that there's one team that is the absolute favourite, but they're playing their Achilles heel. They should still win, and by a considerable margin, but that first 20 minutes is going to be absolutely key. Whoever gets the first sort of psychological boost by the first couple of penalty goals or something like that. But I think Japan, by simply making the quarterfinals, has already achieved their goal, whereas South Africa is there to win the World Cup, and Japan will. Yes, they'll have the whole might of their country cheering them on.
I think everyone except South African supporters will be with Japan. Genuinely.
Yeah.
I think it's just they love upsets.
But Japan has already achieved well and truly more than what anyone thought they would. And I just can't see them doing it again against one of the heavyweights of world rugby. South Africa should win that.
Yeah, so South Africa. So previously our predictions, I think, read as Ireland, Japan not making it. Yeah, they were way different. It's hard to say. But semi-finals now. These are big games. First semi-final is England versus New Zealand. It's a hard one. England have been playing real well. New Zealand haven't actually done anything spectacular yet. The last thing they did spectacular was against Australia in the second Bledisloe. But that was over a month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's really England who's in form versus New Zealand who's just hands down a world-class team.
Yeah.
The best in the country. In the world.
Even.
In the world. So it's really form against prowess and superiority and just, I guess, how far they've been.
Yeah.
I mean, it's two previously Rugby World Cup winning teams, except New Zealand have won the last two World Cups. The last World Cup England won was 2003.
Yeah, but you look at the team 4 years ago, they had Dan Carter, Richie McCaw,
Julian Savio was
Conrad
in form, Smith,
Nonu. Exactly. That was the best team to ever play rugby at a World Cup. 4 years later,
it's new.
They're playing potentially the best England team ever to take the pitch.
Ricky Ioane is playing his first game against Canada.
Starting. Yeah, because he was the starting winger 2 months ago, and now all of a sudden he's the third pick, fourth pick.
To be honest, Stevie Reese and George Bridge, beasts.
Yeah.
But back on that game.
Man, I'm tipping England because I thought if New Zealand lose a game at this World Cup, it wouldn't be the final. It'll be the semi or the quarter.
Yeah, I think England. Back them. England are well composed too. Owen Farrell's a beast. I forgot their number 10, but the number 10 who played against Tonga.
George Ford.
He was a beast.
He captained as well.
He was a beast. That guy was just so smart. He just played so well. And I didn't see it when Owen Farrell came on at 12, but that 10-12 combo, if they pull that off...
It's legit a Richie Mo'unga and Beauden Barrett situation, pretty much.
Yeah, literally.
It's a similar sort of setup.
But in my opinion, if it was Richie Mo'unga and Ryan Crotty, potentially, or Richie Mo'unga and Sonny Bill, Anton Brown will be playing outside centre. I still think George Ford and Owen Farrell would still be better than those two. But if Beauden hopped in at 10, I think they'll definitely change it a bit.
Beauden is the best player in the world for me.
I think he should be at 10. I hope against Namibia or something they chuck him in at 10 and just see him go to work, to be honest.
I don't think he's not even playing
he is
tonight against Canada.
He is, yeah.
No, Geordie's on the wing.
Geordie's on the wing, but Beauden Barrett, Geordie and Scott Barrett are all on, and it's the first time a trio of brothers from New Zealand have ever started.
Oh, so he is starting. Oh, I wasn't sure Beauden was starting.
I can imagine he'll be coming off pretty swiftly for Ben Smith.
Ben Smith, that's again, Ben Smith is probably in the top 10 best players in the world, and purely because of this Richie Mo'unga and Beauden Barrett situation, he's not even on the starting field.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Hard. I think right now, before the teams and obviously the quarterfinal results have come out, England will win it, and it could change. Maybe we'll do another video pre-semi-final.
Yeah, you just can't see New Zealand going back to back to back. Just because their team 4 years ago was so much better than it is
It was
now.
deadly, yeah. So we're back England?
I think we have to. England's probably the only team other than South Africa that could beat New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, Australia have obviously shown it.
No,
but
we don't
right
have the,
now they're a bit...
don't have the psychology.
I mean,
to
Ireland
have the
could
All
beat
Blacks.
New Zealand, but
Yeah, that's true.
Japan could beat them.
Japan can beat anyone on the day, bro.
Which brings us to South Africa versus Wales.
Semi-final 2.
That's a hard one in my opinion.
Is it?
Well, who do you think's going to win?
I'd go South Africa every day, bro.
Look, I want to say South Africa, but for some reason there's a massive part of me that is seriously thinking Wales could beat South Africa.
Yeah, right.
I just think South Africa plays really like unpredictable counter-attack. Kicking game's good. I mean, Andre Pollard had a weak game against New Zealand, but hopefully he picks it up.
He's still world class.
Still world class. But Elton Yankees, who comes on, is also very good. The Wales play very structured, and when that works for them, they put points on teams, slowly building on it. Like they put points on Australia like that. But then when something happens, it can sort of crumble for them.
Yeah.
And that also happened against Australia.
On the other side of the field, though, Dan Biggar, another world-class number 10.
Yeah.
And he came off 20 minutes in, and Reece Patchell stepped in. He was easy. He was just as good.
Yeah.
So they've got 2 world-class number 10s.
Yeah.
And Dan Biggar's got a week off now because I think he failed his HIA. So he'll be feeling fresh and ready to go by the time they hit those key games.
Also, I think a way South Africa can win that game is using their wings and outside backs well. I mean, what's that winger for Wales called? George North?
Yeah,
He's a
huge.
big frame, but I think Cheslin Colby and
could dance
Mapimpi
around
would
him.
just, step him. Kicking game, kick it behind. Usually, most kicking now, they like to put it on a one-on-one right on the line. I think even then, kicking it behind him in space. I mean, Liam Williams for Wales is a very good fullback, but up the likes of Cheslin Colby and Willie LaRue, who are very fast, especially Cheslin Colby. I mean, his stats against New Zealand were amazing.
Yeah. I still back LaRue. I think LaRue is very, very
He's
good.
very good. And if Andre Pollard starts and picks up his game, Dan Biggar's good, but I think a person with the frame like Andre Pollard, he would pass it around once or twice, maybe have a crack at himself, and I think he would also be able to bust through the line.
That's a far better matchup than Bernard Foley ever could be. I think, South Africa, you've got to tip them. It'll be close, but I reckon South Africa by about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree?
Hallelujah.
Alright. Yeah, you're glad I said that. Eh? Thought I'd be salty and tip Wales.
No, I was doing more on the Wales side, but now this is where it's changed.
Should we do third place first?
Third place, New Zealand versus Wales.
Yeah. Man, I'm going New Zealand any day of the week.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I feel like New Zealand are a very humble nation and very humble team, and if they were to lose the semi-final, they would be going into the third place playoff still wanting to play and win. Like, obviously Wales would still be wanting that, but I could just see Wales losing the semi-final and almost like, we can't go to the big dance, but that's it for us. I just...
Well, that happened last time. Sorry, not last time. It was 2011. It was Australia versus Wales in the third place playoff in Australia.
Thrashing?
Beat them. Well, not a thrashing, but beat them.
Yeah.
It was solid.
I think, New Zealand win that.
Yeah. New Zealand to come third.
Which
Huge.
leaves us to South Africa versus England.
Huge.
That's a big game.
That's going to be a beauty.
Yeah, it's a big game.
That would be that's deserving of a tournament finale.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. I don't know the mindset of England, but their pre-season leading up to the Rugby World Cup was so good. If it does go how we've said it, they will be going through the knockoff stages and the rest of their pool game strong, in form almost. And then when it comes down to the final, I don't know if they're a team that can just crack then.
Yeah, especially because South Africa did lose to New Zealand.
Yeah.
In that first game. And I think you said earlier, historically, teams that win it don't lose any games at all.
Don't lose any games in the World Cup. So
that's in England's favour.
Yeah. But then saying again, South Africa could have lost the New Zealand game and sort of come back down to 0, knowing that they will beat the other teams.
Who knows? Argentina might beat England and they're not even in England rockets.
So, I mean, if it goes how we've said it, it will really come down to England's mindset. I think South Africa are a nation that sort of really want to fight for it in terms of pride and that. But I think England will want to fight for that World Cup win just to sort of rub it in everyone else's face. And I think that can not be in their favour.
Yeah, as much as it pains me, because this is probably my 2 least favourite teams.
Yeah.
And somehow or rather they've made it into the final. They've deserved it. But this hurts me, but I'm going to have to tip South Africa, I think. I think it's going to be a strong return of the drop goal in this grand final. We haven't seen it too much.
Pollard's a great kicker. And Owen Farrell, if he plays 10.
Owen Farrell's already slotted a couple, I think. Dan Bigger kicked one the other night, and Patchell kicked one the other night. So.
Well, I was looking at the betting website, and one of the things you can bet on was whether there will be 8 or more drop goals in the whole of the World Cup.
Yes.
There will be.
I think there will be 9 or 10.
Yeah. I didn't bet on it, but I think there's already at least been 4 or 5.
There's definitely been 3.
France also unleashed one.
Did they?
Yeah. Against Argentina.
They did too.
I'm not sure if there's been missed ones, maybe, but that's other story.
Yeah.
South Africa versus England.
I'm going South Africa, but by maybe 3 or 4.
It all comes down to discipline in that game as well. Like,
true.
If both teams have penalties in somewhat of a kicking range, and definitely in a kicking range, so that 30 metres onwards, even on the side, I think both teams
from 60.
Yeah, both teams will be taking it. So it comes down to discipline, which is why I don't know the mindsets. I think that game will be who crack in that way, because both teams have great kickers, both teams have great attacking abilities, but
and playmakers.
But also watching USA versus England, there were a lot of times England had USA had the upper hand, especially on the outside, and England was sort of struggling it. And the only reason USA didn't really put anything big on is just because they didn't really have the skill to finish or make the right decisions. So I don't know, big game, but
hard to pick.
Are we gonna sub in South Africa?
I think we're gonna have to do it to them. Did we get a South Africa win last time? I fucking hate this, eh? Oh no! Everything I've said, Wallabies are gonna win. Wallabies are gonna win. Don't you worry.
Part of me still thinks that South Africa might not win it, but you expect the worst and hope for the best. And another big part of me still reckons New Zealand can win it.
They can always win it. They're always the favourite. So
sadly, I also think England can win it, but you get what you get.
And the Wallabies are they're going to win. So just wait for that. Just going to storm over everyone in the finals. So.
We'll see though, but
other than the finals, Jordan Patea is getting his debut this weekend against Uruguay.
Isn't he like 19?
He's 19, yeah. So I think the last person to do that was George North.
John Lomu was also very young.
Yes, he was 19 as well.
I actually don't really know much of this Jordan Patea guy.
He's a beast. He literally played like 4 or 5 games for the Reds at the start of the season, did his Achilles or his knee or something, and then he was out for the rest of the season. But he was just such a standout player.
Really?
And watch his highlights, man. He steps around anyone, and he's just like a Quade Cooper, but like more composed.
And he made the World
smarter.
Cup team. Wow, that's awesome.
Well, he was in the squad last year for the spring tour, and he was going to debut against Italy last year, and And then
At 18.
he got injured again. Yeah, he was 18
Jesus.
and didn't debut, so he's finally getting on the pitch. So I hope he has a good game. So he's keeping Adam Ashley Cooper out of the squad. So
Yeah. Well, what's it called? Apart from that, as far as our predictions go, I think we've been pretty well from the last video.
Japan's pulled through, which I'm very happy about.
Yeah,
So.
Japan's pulled through. England are in form.
Just missed out on the Argentina one.
Yeah, that was a close game, but we're hoping Argie will come through. Should we do some shout-outs?
Shout-outs? Who do you want to shout out?
I'm going to just shout out Sweeney Hughes. If he watches it this far, I'm expecting a serious comment from you.
Yeah. Yeah, if you make it to the end of the video, you get a quick shout-out at the end of episode 3.
Yeah, also shout out to a few other people who made it to the end of episode 1. There were a handful of people who I saw and said mainly they were bored and watched it. But we will be seeing who watches this one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give a quick shout out to Ty Harrington. Had a beast yarn for about half an hour, 45 minutes about the World Cup, just like sharing predictions, who we think's going to win, that sort of thing. And he had some good insight, so we'll have to see where that takes us.
Whispers of a guest appearance.
Ooh, we'll have to wait and see.
Maybe quarterfinal, semi-final.
Yeah.
Video prediction. I think
Final
maybe a
predictions.
pre-finals predictions.
Yeah, that'll
Because
be
if
hot.
Japan come through, that's going to be awesome in
Yeah.
itself. So yeah, maybe another 2 weeks. Yeah, they play on the 16th.
Easy. That'll be hot.
Apart from that, our beers are finished.
Very sad.
And the shit jug is finished. So
Congrats for making it to the end of the video. If anyone is still watching, which they're not.
please tell us.
Oh yeah, there was actually some absolute randoms who left some comments on the YouTube
Did
video.
they actually?
Yeah, dude.
I haven't seen it.
Someone from South Africa, someone from...
What did they say?
There was someone who was hell back in South Africa, actually. Like, we definitely never met them.
I don't know how many views we got, but we actually got quite a few.
Yeah, I don't know why, but...
I mean, if you're still watching it now, this is more of like a semi-vlog. No,
Yeah, this is more like you're in the meme hours now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if
Really?
you click that.
For comments.
I don't know. But we had 398 views.
That's not bad for a first time.
8 likes. You know the drill.
Oh, we scroll down here. Comments.
Whoa, we had a lot of comments.
Shout out to Elliot and Neve, who thinks the Aussies will get a shock by the suffocating Welsh defence. Well done, you picked that.
Yeah, that's good. George Monarca. I guess France has no chance. Intermac number 10 and DuPont number 9 are both the great players, but very young. If Argentina show a strong defence and stronger scrum, France has no chance. Fiji can beat Australia. I guess Fiji is going to be the black horse. See, we also said that.
Yeah.
They were beating Australia in a nice amount, then they lost. And Argentina did lose to France.
So, yeah, good pick.
But it was... What he said was very similar, but that was also a good call, George.
Francois Williams commented twice. He said, South Africa to win, correct. Eben Etzebeth's so-called case is a storm in a teacup. He doesn't think it's much to worry about.
Yeah,
so,
what does that mean?
Fair enough. And he also said there's almost 500 South Africa players playing in Europe. So how are they supposed to choose a team anyway? That's a decent point. I suppose that's the struggle the Socceroos have with picking a team in the soccer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
then
not terrible.
Levi Samson Targo. You're right, South Africa are in form and New Zealand have been poor. So consider this a poor New Zealand. A poor New Zealand was a match for an informed South Africa.
It's not a bad shout.
I
think he's saying like poor New Zealand is a good match for a good South Africa, which is probably fair.
Yeah.
I mean, historically.
So he's pretty much saying if New Zealand are informed, South Africa have no chance.
Yeah. I think if New Zealand's informed, nobody has a chance.
But yeah, comment on the video. Comment on the post we'll make on Facebook, and we will maybe a little bit of a Q&A, a couple of questions.
Yeah, if you hit us with some questions, or maybe even a quiz. Who
Yeah,
knows?
literally. Yeah, just chuck in something. We'll give you a shout
Well, we
out.
won't have as much time with the next one. We only have 8 games to talk about, so
It's still a lot of spooky things can happen.
yeah, it's true.
But yeah, we'll definitely comment. If you made it this far, comment. I mean, we might even chuck something, skip to the end, just to see all the weird stuff.
Yeah. Well done.
Cheers, guys.